Right, we're live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We're here for a massive clash in the Commonwealth Sevens. We're currently watching Sri Lanka versus England, and England are getting close to the 50 points, but something that is for certain is that this next game will be a lot closer. New Zealand versus Samoa, an exciting clash, like I mentioned, and it is going to be probably the deciding factor for who finishes number one in Pool A of the Commonwealth Games so far. We have seen some pretty impressive action from both of these sides in their first games. New Zealand getting themselves a big win over Sri Lanka, and then Samoa getting themselves a 34-0 victory over the home favourites, England. But looking through at the squads, Tony Unshu, Dylan Collier, Naroni McGarvey-Black, Sam Dixon, Regan Ware, Joe Weber, Moses Leo, he was prominent in the first game, Scott Curry, Akulia, Rocco Lisoa, Caleb Tangitau, Leroy Carter, who we didn't actually really see too much of in the first game, and then Sione Mulia, who is coming off 2 tries in that first game. Then for Samoa, Valvasa Afasua, one of the co-captains, alongside him, Va'a Apilo Maliko, also got himself a try in that first contest. Yuna Sione, Malani Matavao, the other co-captain, Paul Scanlon, Owen Nui, Steve Onyesai coming off a hat-trick in that first contest up against England, Moto Opitai, Levi Milford, Veta Purcell, and then they have got Letafia and Falaniko, and also my dot begin trek, says Esbok. Not too sure what that means, but the starting lineups for New Zealand, and it will be Tony Unsure, Dylan Collier, McGarvey-Black, Dixon, Regan Ware, Joe Weber, and Moses Leo. Then for Samoa, they have got all 3 of their co-captains on the field, Yona Sione, Paul Scanlon, Owen Nui, Steve Onyesai, and then those 3 co-captains, like I mentioned, Valvasa Afasua, Fa'a Apelo Maleko, and Malani Matavao. So some big players starting this matchup for both of these teams. Both want to finish number one, but only one can in this stage. Now, the question is it going to be similar to what we saw in the matchup between Uganda and Australia, and a close one, 12-all in that game? What a performance from the Ugandans for that game. Or could it be a bit more one-sided with the game being just around the corner? It will all come down to those impact players off the bench for these 2 sides. You got to make sure you're making your tackles and not giving away too many penalties. But now Dixon and Valvasa Afasua both make their way out onto the field. I should mention I only just woke up about 3 or maybe a little bit longer than 3 minutes ago, maybe about 10 minutes ago, after sleeping for about 3 hours after doing the last game of the 7 Yanlu brand. Has said hi, lads, as well. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. The Kiwis, they are looking determined for this one. At the end of the day, Samoa are a massive side to take down in the sevens. It's never going to be easy, but the Kiwis are certainly going to try. Adam Leal will be in charge of this one as the referee. He's very happy. He's smiling at the moment. Home advantage to the referee for this game in Birmingham, but Malani Matavao, he will be the one who is kicking off this game between New Zealand and Samoa. Now, I am excited to see how this match starts, because I feel like if we get to see a clinical Samoa, there is a good chance that they could go ahead of New Zealand on Pool A. But if we see a dangerous New Zealand, it's a good chance that they could find themselves at the top. But Malani Matavao kicks it just a 10 metres. Sam Dixon does well to keep it in the field of play, but it's gone backwards off the New Zealand hand, and Samoa do regain possession now. Malani Matavao, fate like he was going to be going for the kick there for half a second. Yunasioni looks for the offload. Sorry about that, but tongue getting a little bit tired. I think that's because I'm too excited about the fact that these 2 sides get to play each other again. We've actually been very lucky seeing it very often throughout the last few months or so. Now it will be Va'a Apilo Maleko on the halfway line, slings it back across, more possession in this game, going to Samoa so far for the first 40 seconds. Owen Nui, ball on the inside to Malani Matavao, flat pass, now off into the hands of Paul Scanlon. He will be a hard man to stop, and he scores the first try of the contest for Samoa. Within the first minute, Manu Samoa have run in their first try. Paul Scanlon does pick up another. And go Manu Samoa, should be a class matchup. Says Steve, it certainly should be. It's the equivalent for me as a final anytime that these 2 sides play. But Paul Scanlon just a little bit too quick for Moses Leo. Malani Matavao with a flat pass. Sam Dixon was appealing there for a 4 pass. It was flat, that is for sure, but It's still a very nice try for Paul Scanlon and Samoa. They take the lead. And now Malani Matavao will be lining up the conversion. Now, in the first match up against England, he was only 2 from 5 for his kicking. And that one has gone over, so he's 1 from 1 so far. And Samoa lead this game 7 points to 0 after 1.5 minutes. So Samoa, they have only really given New Zealand the ball off kickoff for 2 seconds. Other than that, they have had all the possession. But Malani Matavao about to kick this game off again. Kicks it high, looks like they're going to that exact same spot. Sam Dixon tried to glide through the air. He's hit his head really hard, but it's in the hands of Paul Scanlon. He's been forced into touch by Sione Malia, or in fact, it was Regan Ware, and they take it quickly. Tony Unshu. So the dummy as if he was going to be going straight across. Dylan Collier now. It looks like Samoa is shutting him down pretty well, and they've actually got him held up, trying to keep that ball in there, and they are slowly shuffling him towards the touchline. Dylan Collier, no choice but to go out. Brilliant work from Samoa in the defensive side of things, and they will now have themselves the line out. Dylan Collier looks like he was pretty well shut down by about 5 Samoans in that one, which is going to be pretty tough to find the offload that he was after. Go Manu, says Sam there as well. Samoa go to the front. Vauvasafa Sua, now Malani Matavao. One more after Paul Scanlon, the hat-trick hero in the first match up against England. A brilliant step once again. Owen Nui. It's going to be extremely hard to stop for Moses Leo, and he tries, but he fails. And Samoa score again. 4 minutes left of this first half, and Samoa running in for their second. They are on fire in Birmingham. And the Kiwis are going to have to find an answer for it very soon if they don't want it to look similar to the scoreline 34-0 that Samoa had up against England. Using the pace, Owen Nui got him in the chest and said, "You are not getting me, Moses Leo." Brilliantly done. Moses Leo, that is the second time he's had to try and make a last-ditch tackle, and both times Samoa have just gone straight through them. Brilliant try for Owen Nui. This kick will be quite tricky for Malani Matavao. He struck it all right, though, but it will go out to the left-hand side. And the score now is 12-0 in favour of Samoa with 3 minutes left of the first half. At the moment, the Kiwis, they've got to make sure that this does not happen. Pretty much is the best way of putting it. They do not want to be beaten badly, or else then, looking at the scoreboard-wise, you'd have to say that it would be a massive clash for them up against the English, I believe, would actually be their last game. Malani Matavao now off to Scanlon. Once again, finding the offload to Matavao, the co-captain. Wide slinging pass, and now it's starting to become danger again. Owen Nui, nice inside ball to Vauvasafa Sua. Tackle made by Weber, straight over the ball. Tony Unshu does win the penalty for the Kiwis. Takes a quick tap as well. Proud of the rebirth of Samoa Sevens Rugby. Well done, Lima. Yeah, the chiropractor has certainly got it going well. That is another knock-on from the Kiwis. The handling errors starting to creep in a little bit too often for their liking. Joe Weber works well on the breakdown, though, and does get the ball back now. Naroni McGarvey Black slings it wide to Dylan Collier, who has to sling it back wide to Naroni McGarvey Black. Samoa's defence looking clinical at this point in time. Dylan Collier gets shoved backwards by Va'a Pilo Maleko. Now Naroni McGarvey Black gives it off to the captain Dixon. Does try and stride his way forward once again. The Samoans trying to hold up the Kiwis. That seems to be a tactic that they have done pretty well throughout the early stages. Now it's a nice offload, though, to Moses Leo. Ball on the inside. Dylan Collier doesn't quite get it. And Pilo Maleko now with a bit of space. Naroni McGarvey Black gets shunted off. Sam Dixon is not going to catch him, and he sticks his tongue out at him as well. That is the third try of this first half for Samoa. They are clinical, and the Kiwis don't seem to have an answer. Pilo Maleko doing brilliantly there, getting himself his second try of this Birmingham Sevens. But McGarvey Black just tackling too high. You cannot go around the chest of a Samoan player unless you want to get shunted backwards and sat down. And Pilo Maleko once again getting another try for Samoa. He's looking up to the heavens. But now it is going to be 19-0. Oh, sorry, it will be 19-0 with a kick to come. Oh, no, sorry, 17-0. That will be 17-0 now with that kick missing. And now 40 seconds left. The Kiwis have nothing that's worked for them in this first half yet. But they will have to try and turn it around in the second. Moses Leo takes it nicely. One try is exactly what the Kiwis will need in this first half just to give them a bit of confidence. Now Regan Ware, experienced man. Dylan Collier, beautiful step there from the big man. Finds the offload to Naroni McGarvey Black. Now Tony Nshu passes behind Moses Leo, which does kill a bit of his acceleration. But now finds the offload up to Weber. Gives it off to Naroni McGarvey Black. One-on-one defense. Brilliant from Owen Nui. It's going to be the advantage now for Dylan Collier. Passing off to Joe Weber, who's just attacked almost by Steve on his side, just jumping all over him like it's a zombie apocalypse. Now Sam Dixon, space on the outside. Dragged down. Nice tackle made, but we're going back for the penalty in favour of New Zealand. We have got well 3 tries there, Steve. Yes, Samoa have been playing extremely well throughout this first half. Garvey Black looks like he is quite tired. Same with Samoa. Everyone has been playing at such a frantic pace of this first half. Looks like New Zealand have got 4 men set up on the top side, and that is exactly where they go. Weber off now to Regan Ware, sorry. That ball's going to sit up for Dixon, and that will be the first try of the match for New Zealand. How's it going, Kiwi lads? Long time no see. See, it's Barry Green. Hope you are doing well, mate. And hope you have been enjoying the Commonwealth Games so far. The South Africans not doing too badly in their first game. They will be playing up against Tonga in their second, and we are going to be doing the commentary for that one as well. But now Ronnie McGarvey Black does get that conversion over. So the difference at halftime will be 10 points, which is probably not terrible for New Zealand the way that they have played in that first half. They probably had about 30% possession, but it was brilliant work from Samoa throughout the whole of the half. And does mean that they have got themselves that 17 points to 7 lead. But do let me know, can New Zealand come back with still another 7 minutes left? Is there a chance that they can do so? One moment. It's currently 1 degree here in New Zealand. Not even the 2, not even the 3, 1. Just 1. But it's mostly cloudy, so it might be a nice day. And let's go, Manu. You can do it, bring it home, says Donovan there as well. Yeah, as long as fatigue doesn't set in for Samoa, they can go and win this match. That is the big thing for them. They want to win it. New Zealand, they are down by 10. Still 2 tries unsuccessfully converted. Okay, the New Zealand coach sounding very calm for a side that are down by 10, but I would assume that it is because they've been there, done that. That milestone didn't come through. So here's Robert, one moment. I will go like this, and I will go like this. Normally for the milestone ones, I do actually have to go into the YouTube studio to be able to see them, so I will do that now. We will go like that, and like that, and cheeky kick through, says it was Steve. Yeah, the grubber was the thing that helped the Kiwis get themselves back into this contest. One moment, it's still loading. Luckily, it is halftime, and I'm not, we have got, hey, I'm not feeling good, says Etene. So hopefully you do feel a little bit better in the future, Etene. Although South Africa in their first game, hopefully seeing them get a win to make you feel just a little bit better. At the moment, New Zealand, they are sitting in second in Pool A, Samoa in third. Go New Zealand was from Robert. It has just come through for myself as well. But now, New Zealand trailing by 10 in a pool game, like they're saying. It's not where the Kiwis saw themselves at halftime, but Naroni McGarvey Black about to get us back underway. For this one, I'm sick, says Atini in there. So be sure to get plenty of sleep and rest well, and hopefully you will recover relatively quickly. Tony Nshu waits for that one to bounce up for Regan Ware. Dixon goes across to Weber. The experienced heads of the New Zealand side really need to work together, see what they can do. And there's actually a huge amount of experience when you think about it out there in this lineup. They have decided rather than going with those young players that they are going to be going mainly with the veterans, see if they can put something together for the Kiwis. But maybe you need some more of those young players out there. Big bump off from Dixon on Apilo Maleko. No clear release, I wouldn't have thought, but it becomes a penalty to Samoa. And now, I think that might have been what Sam Dixon was asking, whether or not there was the release. Go Manu. And then as you watch the biggest scoreboard derby in the world tomorrow, Pal Boys versus Pal Gim, 4 p.m. South African time. Do they have it on YouTube somewhere, Connor? Because if not, I don't know whether or not they will be showing it in New Zealand, unfortunately. Matawao kicks it into Dutch. Apelo Maleko. Oh, yes, just a little release there. He done well. Apelo Maleko. Now, line out for Paul Scanlon. Tony Nshu will be subbed off, and that will be Scott Curry. So more experience for New Zealand. Very interesting tactics for this one. And yes, I think so. Says Connor there, and don't give up, boys. Manu Samoa, says Donovan. And also, Paul is my hometown. Stolen there. Beautifully done. Oh, it's a knock on, though, unfortunately, from Owen Nui. Let him down. In fact, it was Steve Onyesai, who doesn't normally drop too many, but that time it has dropped out of his hands. But yeah, it's very interesting that New Zealand would decide to take off one of their experienced players for an even more experienced player here, rather than going with one of those young guys such as Caleb Tangitau. I believe he has also made his way out onto the field, though, on the wing. But there's a lot of experience looking through the lineup. Rockeli Soa, Caleb Tangitau, Sione Molia, and Leroy Carter, probably the guys with the least amount of experience in there. That's a big scrum. It's gone down, and it's a penalty now to New Zealand. Naroni Magavi Black gives it off into the hands of Joe Webber. One more pass off to Caleb Tangitau. Trying to step on the outside. Brilliant run. Still going, Caleb Tangitau. He's broken through three. He's found the offload to Webber, who drops his head. He's over. And Joe Webber does score the try, but a lot of credit for that one has to go to Caleb Tangitau with the way that he run the ball hard. And my daughter just finished school at Paul Gim. Says Esbok, and also believe, Manu, you can do it. Says Sam there. New Zealand with Joe Webber. They've just been able to get themselves their second try of the contest. It's a great bit of footwork from Caleb Tangitau. He shunted off Owen Nui. He pumped off Paul Scanlon. Then just enough work from Alani Matavao to drag him down. But the offload was there. And Webber was ready for it. And it does mean that the Kiwis do get themselves closer to being back into this contest here. The score now sitting at 12 points to 17 with a kick to come. Is this showing on TVNZ? Anyone know, says Macy? Oh, it's a good question. I'd like to think that it would be. They normally do that kind of sweep, don't they? Similar to what they did with the Olympics, how they do go and let you see anything that the Kiwis are in. So if it's not, I'd like to think that they show a replay at some stage on TVNZ, or have the highlights on the All Blacks YouTube channel might be the other option. All right, but that one has gone out. Malani Matavao says that it shouldn't have been a line out to New Zealand, but New Zealand will take that one, sitting 12 points to 17 as we currently sit. And what time will you be? Will it be for you for New Zealand, or in New Zealand for the test in South Africa next week? It will be a 3:30 p.m. start time. No, sorry, 3:30 a.m. start time here in New Zealand. So it will be quite late, but some would consider it quite early, depending on what time we get up. We are still going to be covering that game. It's going to be massive. Got quite a few things planned for before the game, including some sort of interviews, little short snippets of videos and everything like that for the live stream. So I'm not too sure how long before the game we are starting, but we've got plenty planned for that one as I put it all together for that first All Blacks versus South Africa match. It's going to be taken nicely by Dixon. Now Scott Curry passes it across to Moses Leo. One more, Naroni Magavi Black now passes out onto the wing to Caleb Tangitau. It becomes a penalty to the Kiwis. And Aussie Mate put the game on, says, sadly, due to licensing, if we show any match footage, they do take us straight off YouTube. So I do apologise for that. Now Leroy Carter goes on the outside to Curry. Dylan Collier, 10 metres out now for New Zealand. And we're in the number 10 on his back. Carter getting his first chance of the Sevens. Step from Regan Ware. Great shot on him by Paul Scanlon, but recycling it quickly. Naroni Magavi Black, in fact, it is Caleb Tangitau who does put the ball down on him and Owen Nui. We're about to have a bit of a pushing contest. That's second time watching you rate this for you. Hope you crack it one day, says Patch. Do appreciate that a lot, mate. And yeah, like I mentioned, it is 7:20 a.m. here in New Zealand, which may look, or maybe why I look half asleep for this contest, but we will be doing the games later on tonight as well. This morning, we have still got Tonga versus South Africa to come, and alongside that game, we are also going to be covering the matchup between Fiji and Canada as our other game this morning that we are doing. And yeah, I hope so too. Cheers for that. I'm sure Channel 10 had coverage of the Commonwealth Games. I'll check later after here. Says Macy as well. And good job, mate. Keep it up. Says Zorodolo. And I do appreciate that a lot as well, mate. Question is, 2.5 minutes left. Who are we picking to be able to win this contest? New Zealand 5 points behind Samoa with the scrum 15 metres out from their own line. And Malani Matavao Now feeds the ball, and it's good work from Samoa. Attacking straight away. Milani Matavao finds the offload up into the hands of Paul Scanlon. He's had a pretty solid game so far. New Zealand steal it in the breakdown in the form of Dylan Collier. Milani Matavao ruthless trying to get it back, but New Zealand take it on the halfway line. Now one more pass across. Regan Ware off to Caleb Tangitau, and he's going in. Caleb Tangitau going to make it a relatively easier kick anyway, but that makes the score 17-all. And time's over, Manu. Let's go. And it's 5:20 a.m. here in the Gold Coast, Australia. Only up to bet on the games, otherwise I'll be asleep, says Patch. Did you have any money on Australia versus Uganda, Patch? Because at the end of the day, that was a massive result, sitting 12-all between Uganda and the Aussies. But Caleb Tangitau just decides that he's quicker than Owen Nui, and he was. He's gone on the outside. New Zealand sitting 17-all. And also Calamity has got go Manu and go Samoa. Says Upu there. New Zealand strike, and New Zealand get it, and they will take the lead for the first time in this match. 19 points to 17. This has well and truly been a game of two halves. The first half went all the way to Samoa, but I mentioned that one try in the first half could have been the difference for New Zealand. And now Rokaliso about to kick off the second, or kick off again. Yeah, I had a total overs 40.5, not bloody good, says Patch. And then my woman, I will watch next week match between New Zealand and South Africa in a hotel in the Mother City, Cape Town, the Sky Hotel. I take a well-deserved break, says S-Bok. Now passing off on the inside. There was a little knock on from New Zealand, but with 50 seconds left, Samoa have got themselves another attacking opportunity. Great step from Va'a. Apelo Malika, Caleb Tangitau putting the ears back to try and shut him down. Good work there from Curry on the halfway line, and he stripped the ball as well. It's a knock-on advantage, and now he wins the penalty as well. So that is massive for New Zealand, as Scott Curry actually grabbed his teammate there, Leroy Carter, and said, slow it down. I think New Zealand know how much of a fight this has been. They want to kick this for the corner rather than taking the quick tap and giving Samoa a chance. And far has said, come on, New Zealand, and Samoa better win. If not, I'm reporting your channel, mate, says Zorro. Oh, no, there's 10 seconds left, though, so it might not go too well. How about Samoa better win a medal? Can we negotiate a little bit there? Because at the end of the day, I think they will, and hopefully they do well. They will still make it through to the quarterfinals, no matter what. Ahoy, Captain, what a game. We've got ourselves here, says Sebastian, exactly right. Currently 19 points to 17 in favour of the Kiwis. Slapped on the New Zealand side by Samoa. They take it back. And now one last attacking chance. Paul Scanlon out on the wing. In fact, it's Steve on his side. Now across to Scanlon. And the big number 5, a man who we haven't really seen too much of, Levi Milford. Oh, no. He's just thrown it into touch. Maybe that's why we haven't seen too much of him. But he gets picked up by Leroy Carter. Says, don't worry about that, mate. It was a great game. And New Zealand managed to hang on. If New Zealand win, I'll tell to sub to your channel, says Atini. And also, it's 2:22 p.m. in Arkansas. Thanks for the broadcast, says Kermit. No worries at all, mate. Or sorry, Kermin. Yeah, come on, Samoa, says S-Box. So that will be the end of this contest. New Zealand hang on by the slimmest of margins. 19 points to 17. What a game it was. And my friends, to subscribe to your channel, says Atini there. But Pool A, New Zealand will go back to the top. Samoa will be in second and far, I said few. And there, yeah, always a close game between these two sides. In my preview, I did predict New Zealand by 5. They did win it by 2. It was a little bit closer. But New Zealand in first with 6 points in Pool A. Samoa in second with the 4 points. And then England are actually also on 4 points, but they have a points differential of -6. So that is the big difference maker. And thanks, mate. We'll be okay, mate. Says Zoro there as well. And well done, both teams. Says Eastbok, exactly right. An exciting game of rugby. And now next we have got Scotland versus Malaysia. But what we will be doing is we will be ending this live stream, and I will be doing my post-match review of New Zealand versus Samoa. So thank you all very much for tuning in. The next game that we are coming back for will be the game starting at about 7:45 New Zealand time. And that is the matchup between South Africa and Tonga. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one. Although, first of all, how do the groups work? Are England out? There is still one more game. So if England win their last game and Samoa are beaten by Sri Lanka, England will actually qualify above of the Samoans. But more than likely, it will be Samoa and New Zealand as the top 2. Be a last game for them. in the pool is going to be Sri Lanka, whereas New Zealand, they will be taking on England in their last game. A great game, very physical battle. It was indeed. Marina Man says, Kipariki, welcome in. Hope you are doing brilliantly, mate. And awesome cheers too for the coverage, says Macy. No worries at all. And thanks, Hamish, says Spock there as well. And for that number 5 going to be on the bench, yeah. Unfortunately for him, the one touch that he had in the game did not go his way. Okay, see Canada and Fiji later. Says Atini and well done, Fiji. Or sorry, New Zealand. I said mistakes would be the undoing of Samoa, says Steve. And sadly, in that second half, it certainly was. But I will see you all for the